Everybody? Good. That was half-hearted, but this one will be better. We just want to take a second to celebrate all the moms in the room and moms watching online. Happy Mother's Day. That was better.
Your mom's here.
Hi, Mom. It's funny because I can wave and say hi, Mom, because she's here today.
Yeah.
Sometimes I wave at the camera and just see, but she's here today. And my brothers are all watching online, I'm sure, because they listen to every word I say, which is not true. But just so they all know, and everyone in the room knows, I'm the favorite child, and so I'm my mother's favorite, and that's why she came to spend the day with me.
So true.
Also because she had somewhere else to go after this, and this was on the way.
Yeah,
but
also.
Other than that, I know that I'm the favorite child. It's good. All the mothers in the room, thank you for all that you do. We just want to celebrate you. Thank you for what you do. I have the greatest wife in the world and the mother of our kids that I could never have dreamed of. She's amazing. And we love celebrating as a church, just anything in general. Pick a thing. We're going to celebrate it. That's just what we do. But Mother's Day is a whole lot of fun to celebrate all the moms in the room. Next week, we're here back again, and we're going to celebrate graduating seniors. And so if you have a graduating senior, make sure you have them talk to Jess, our Interim 1 Youth Director, and let her know so that she can get everything ready to celebrate you next week. And an extra special treat. Are you ready for this? I like to bring in extra voices from time to time when we talk about great topics like this, like the comparison trap. And sometimes we'll do a pastor swap where I'll go teach at a different church and they'll come teach here, and we'll just get some different voices and different perspectives. Well, we're kicking it up to an extreme degree. Yeah. We have a pastor coming next week who I'm very excited for you all to hear from. His name is Dr. Ashok John. And Dr. Ashok John is from India, and his son is a grad student here at CMU, and he has an incredible church in India that is doing incredibly well. And he's going to come speak and share with us next week. And then in just a few weeks after that, Matt and I get to go to his church and to go do the same for them, and it's going to be awesome. It's going to be sweet. So I'm looking forward to you guys getting to celebrate him. So be praying for them in this next week as they travel as well, that it would be safe, easy flight. We're excited to have them here. So as we talk about the comparison trap, let's just go ahead and acknowledge the real deal with the comparison trap. Many of us struggle with comparison, but moms never do. It's something that moms never, ever have a problem with. No mom ever has looked at themselves and compared themselves to any other mom in any other way. I don't think it happens, right?
True. I mean, we definitely don't compare our children's behavior, our children's academics, our children's athleticism, our husbands, our marriages, our houses, our vacations, our looks, the looks of our kids, the looks of our dogs sometimes, our fur babies. I mean, so many things. The list just continues on.
I don't get it, because I, for once, have never compared myself to another mom.
Weird.
So
that is fair. That one threw me off. That's fair.
You're welcome.
Sometimes we compare ourselves and are jealous of the phase of life that other moms are in, right? Like if you remember having those newborn babies that are so sweet, except for they never sleep. You look at that mom of teenagers and you're like, oh my gosh, you can't even wake your kid up. I want that, right? Or like now we have this, we've got still a 9-year-old, but we also have a 14-year-old, right? So we're kind of like moving in that direction. And so we had one night this week, all 3 kids were gone, and we were like, those empty nesters, right? Like, a little jealous about that phase of life that will be coming faster than we think. But all of that can happen, and so we're going to talk all about that today. But, of course, we couldn't start without sharing some very funny mom memes because, let's be serious, this is what keeps us going. So here's our first one. Me with 1 child. Okay, that's enough TV. Your episode of Daniel Tiger's all over.
I loved Daniel Tiger.
We don't want to overdo it. Let's go to the pumpkin patch, and then we're going to finger paint. Child number 3, I'll give you a box of fruit snacks and some Doritos if you watch Toy Story 1, 2, 3, and 4 straight through, right?
Sign me up for that, by the way. I'm in for that movie marathon.
Like if there was ever a meme that was more true, it's this one. Okay, what about this one? Whenever you feel like a bad parent, just remember that the mom from Home Alone was halfway to Paris before she realized she was missing a kid.
And all the moms in the room realize it might have been strategic the whole time.
Exactly. They played it off like it was an accident. You're so right. That's very funny. So one of... Do you get to pick which kid? Anyways, so when Elijah was born, he's our oldest, I had a little bit of postpartum depression, and so being home with a newborn baby was not my thing. For all of you moms out there who you're like, that was my very favorite phase of life, kudos to you. I am not that person. So I had a lot of support. Luckily, my mom, my mother-in-law, our friends, all of that. But the minute that those 8 weeks were up and I got to go back to work, I was an activity director in a nursing home at that point. I was ecstatic. I was so happy to be back in the place that I love to be with my friends, doing what I loved. Also knowing that my baby was very close nearby at a little small house daycare where she had just 3 or 4 kids. He was getting practically undivided attention. I got to go over at lunch and feed him. It was a great situation. So I was feeling amazing. And then people at work started coming up to me and saying, oh my gosh, are you so broken that you're back at work? Are you just dying inside? Did you cry? How many times have you cried today? And I was like, I might be doing this wrong, right? Like something's wrong with me, right? So I start comparing myself to these moms who've all recently gone through having a newborn baby and struggled going back to work. And I was not experiencing any of those feelings, right? Love my baby, also love going to work. And so it was really, really hard having that comparison. And so one day I sat down and I was talking to one of the speech therapists who ended up becoming one of my very good friends. And I said to her, I think I might be doing it wrong. Like, I'm not sure what's happening, but all these people think I'm supposed to be devastated. And I mean, it's hard a little, but not really. And she was like, oh gosh, I have 2 kids. They're the reason I work outside the home. And I was like, you are my people, right? So it was finding people that were more like me than completely opposite of me. And comparing myself was so hard, feeling like I was doing it all wrong as a brand new mom.
Yeah, well, that's the whole logic behind there's the great quote by Theodore Roosevelt, comparison is the thief of joy. And many of you have heard that before. I think it's very relatable for a lot of reasons because there are sometimes that we can be just so excited about what life has and then we look across the fence at what our neighbor has and it's like, oh, well, that would be fun. And all of a sudden, that moment of joy that we had is now robbed from us. We're now pulled in a different direction, and it can really kill us. And I just want to tell you all right from the get-go as we get going today, especially all the moms in the room, you're doing an awesome job. Yeah. Like, you're doing so great. I'm proud of you. You're killing it. It's okay. You have not failed just because your sourdough starter doesn't work and everyone else's does. Like, it's okay. You can go get the bread from the neighbor, and it's fine.
Exactly.
It's okay if you don't make hot breakfast for your kids every morning, and your friend does on social media and posts it every morning, and makes you like. It's okay. You're doing a great job, and you're killing it. And I think there's times that we as parents feel that same way. Like, man, we are totally failing right now. We're absolutely failing. This isn't working. This isn't working. We're struggling with that, and all those things that start piling up. And then we have moments where, like, last week, Stephanie went over to pick up our daughter from a friend's house, and they've got this little neighborhood girl gang around the corner from us, which is super cute and super fun. And she went to pick them up, and the girls were sitting around a table together, and they were super quiet. And anytime a group of young girls are sitting together and it's quiet, suspicions go up, right? Like something's up. But it turns out they were having a Bible study together. And like not even like the pretend Bible study, like we're going to pretend kitchen or pretend restaurant or whatever. Like they were legit going through the notes from last Sunday's sermon, talking about it together. They had questions developed, and they were like working through it together as 3rd and 4th graders.
Yeah.
Like what? I'm like, that's the best thing. Maybe we're not failing after all. Not in that area, at least. Maybe a different area. It's just crazy. Like it's so fun to watch those things and to remind ourselves, like, okay, we're doing all right.
Yeah.
Things are good.
And I think the hard part about comparing ourselves to others, we talked a lot about this in our small group. One of the people shared, I just wish I had more time. And so then I look around and I see all these people and they're doing this with their free time and they've got all these new hobbies and they've got all this. But when we start comparing ourselves to others, especially on that one thing that you wish you had more of, that's all you end up seeing, right? If you want to be healthier or you want to lose some weight, all you end up seeing is all these people who are doing it so much better than you. And that's not really the case, but it's how we start feeling. And then you start feeling like that's not fair, right? It's not fair.
I would like free time. That sounds nice. What's that?
I know, right? Free time, I want one. I don't know. Anyways, but here's the key. It's not always fair, and that's never been the point. right? It's not always fair, and that's never been the point. But we are going to dig into a story today in the Bible. It is a parable that Jesus tells some of his followers, and it is all about this comparison and about how things aren't always fair. And so what do you do with that feeling of, but I wanted that?
Yeah. Let's just go there. If you have your Bibles with you, we're in Matthew 25. You can flip there or go there in your phone. If you're not sure where that's at, it's in the New Testament. It's the second half of the Bible after Jesus has shown up on the scene. The first book of that New Testament. If it helps you, it's on page 850 in my Bible. It probably won't help you.
Perfect.
But you can flip there and get ready to take some notes as we go through it, because it's just an incredible story of Jesus illustrating a point with the people around him. And sometimes when people read this story that we're about to read, they focus on the money aspect of it. And I want you to see something other than money in this story. I want you to see the subtle cues of comparison that are riding throughout this story that are so easy to glaze over if you're not looking for them. So we're going Matthew 25, starting in verse 14. Jesus is telling a story to illustrate a point to his disciples here. Again, it will be like a man going on a journey who called his servants and entrusted his wealth to them. To one he gave 5 bags of gold, to another 2 bags, and to another 1 bag, each according to his ability. And as we look at these things, there's a person who got 5, a person who got 2, a person who got 1. I want you in this story to put yourself in this story and consider yourself a 2-bagger, okay? You are a yes sir, 2 bags full kind of guy or kind of gal today. That's you in this story. And it's important to look at it that way because I think many times in life, you really are that person. There's somebody who you are envious of, who has more than you, who has the thing you've been always wanting. There is that person in your life. But there's also a person who looks at you and envies you and the things you have in life. Often we forget about that side because we're so focused on what somebody else has we don't have yet. But you're right there in that middle, envious of someone, also being envied by others at the same time.
And I think a lot of times there's seasons of life where we might be everywhere on the spectrum, right? There's been seasons in our life where we're like, we are killing it. We definitely are the 5 baggers, right? And then God always has a way of being like, are you sure, right? Are you really sure? And then you also have seasons of life where you're like, 1 bag. That's all I got. That's all God gave me, right? But the master is who determined what each person got, right? The master determined who got what. It has never been about us. In this story, it is not about each of the servants. They didn't say, I'm the smartest, I'm the best, I'm the prettiest, so give me things based off of that. The master is the one who said, you're getting 5, you're getting 3, and you're getting 1.
2. 5,
2,
2, and
5, 2. Listen,
Math is
I
hard.
Increased a little. Is
Inflation. Yeah, that's good.
Weird.
Okay, never mind. I'm going to keep going before it gets too cute for everyone to handle. Okay, verse 16. The man who had received 5 bags of gold went out at once and put his money to work and gained 5 bags more. So also the one with 2 bags of gold gained 2 more. But the man who had received 1 bag went off, dug a hole in the ground, and hid his master's money. After all, like, what can you do with only 1 bag, right? If you had 2 bags, you could put that to work. You could do something absolutely incredible, right?
5 bags changes the world.
Change the whole world.
Change
but
the world.
1 bag, you can't do much with that. And so we're just going to throw it in the ground. But I think sometimes I want to illustrate this point in here because sometimes we can feel like I only have 1 bag. It's not very much. I've been given just very, very little. But even in this story, this would have rung true for the audience who is listening. 1 bag of gold is still ridiculously valuable. In modern day equivalent, that would have been about $300,000 given to this man. And he just went, yeah, it's not enough to do anything with. And so this is what happens. After a long time, the master of these servants returned and settled accounts with them. The man who had received 5 bags of gold brought the other 5. Master, he said, you entrusted me with 5 bags of gold. See, I have gained 5 more. His master replied, well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful with a few things. I will put you in charge of many things. Come and share in your master's happiness. And at this point, the whole audience would have been hooked, by the way. Like, you've been faithful with a few things? No, this man had 5 bags of gold. He's been faithful with a lot of things. And so he's intriguing them. He's getting their attention. The man with 2 bags of gold also came. Master, he said, you entrusted me with 2 bags of gold. See, I have gained 2 more. His master replied, well done, good and faithful servant. You've been faithful with a few things. I will put you in charge of many. Come and share your master's happiness. And then the third little servant went wee, wee, wee all the way home. No, that's not what happens. It's too many children's stories.
Bad.
It's good. Verse 24, then the man who had received 1 bag of gold came. Master, he said, I knew that you are a hard man, harvesting where you have not sown and gathering where you have not scattered seed. And I want you to see this dramatic perspective shift in this. And if you have a Bible with you and a pencil, underline the word you inside of this. I added italics on the screen just so you can see it a little bit more and reread this. Master, he said, I knew that you are a hard man, investing where you have not sown and gathering where you have not scattered seed. You are the reason I only have 1. Do you see this perspective ringing in here? You are the reason I didn't do more. You only gave me 1, and so you only get 1. There's this idea that you are to blame that I only did this because this is all you gave me. It's a really hard perspective to see in it.
Yeah, so here we are in the crosshairs of this really powerful teaching of Jesus. And what started for them and for us as this comparison, and then changed into some frustration about what other people have, ends up turning more into this dissatisfaction of what the master gave us. And we start getting those feelings of, God shortchanged me. That's a heavy, yucky feeling,
It's
right?
kind of ugly to say out loud,
It
but I
is.
think it's at the root underneath all of it.
So, by a show of hands, who's ever felt like God has
Don't
I'm
do
just
it. Don't
joking.
raise
I'm
your
just
hand.
joking. I'm just joking. Right? But
It's a trap.
It is a trap. But the hard part is we've all probably been there and we've all felt that. And we don't always think about it that way, but it's really what could be happening in our heart, because when we think about what is the root of envy when we're comparing people, it's thinking that we should have more, thinking that God should have given us more.
Yeah. So look what he says. So I was afraid, and I went out and I hid your gold in the ground. See, here is what belongs to you. His master replied, you wicked, lazy servant. So you knew that I harvested where I have not sown and gathered where I have not scattered seed? Well then, you should have put my money on deposit with the bankers, so that when I returned, I would have at least received it back with interest. The problem with the servant is not that he necessarily did anything bad. The problem with the servant is that he didn't do anything. He did nothing. He was given these gifts. He was given something incredible, and he did absolutely nothing. And sometimes we fall into that same trap. And here's the trap of his perspective, and here's why he didn't do more. He was trapped with this idea of what he didn't have. And because he was trapped inside of that, he didn't do anything. He didn't look at what he could do. He was so focused on the fact that somebody was given 2, somebody was given 5. I only have 1. I can't do anything with that. And often in our lives, we will fall into this same trap. When we talk about the comparison trap, this is what it does to us. It gets us in this place where we're so stuck and so consumed with the fact that we don't have what we're looking for. We don't have what we want. We don't have that next thing. We don't have the next benchmark. We don't have this thing that we hope to have. Rather than actually looking at what we do have and choosing, you know what, this is what I've got, and I'm going to do something with this. The reality for every one of us inside of this room, everyone who's watching online, is God has given you a unique set of gifts and talents and abilities, and God has blessed you with so many different things, and he has given you everything that you need for the life that he has called you to right now. He's given you all of that. And so now it's a matter of, instead of getting trapped with what I don't have, start doing something with, what are you going to do today?
Something amazing I got. No, what are you waiting for?
Oh yeah, that's a
So the question is, what are you going to do with what God has entrusted to you? Because like he was saying, when it's our time, right? And we are face to face with God, he is not going to want to know how your neighbor did with their yard, yours, right? We are never going to know what someone else had or did with what they had. But we are definitely, this is what I did, entrusted to me, that you blessed me with. And the focus is what you do with it. What you have is less important than what you do with it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think about that love to hear, right? Like nobody loves to hear the story of somebody who was born with 5 bags and did something amazing with their 5 bags. We like to hear those underdog stories, right? The stories of somebody who was born with maybe less than that and chose to do something awesome.
So if you are newer to Thrive, it's been a couple of years since we've done this, but in the history of Thrive Church, there have been 3 different vehicles that have been donated to this church. And so there used to be an attendee who would fix cars, and so they got them all fixed up. And over the years, there were 3 cars given away, and they were all given to single moms, which was amazing. It gives me tingles. And I guarantee you that they probably felt like they were a 1-bagger in the season of life that they were in. We got to bless them. And at the same time, I guarantee there was then someone else out there that was like, wow, look at that person with 5. They were the envious ones, and now they're being envied.
Yeah. Which it's, by the way, if you're a single parent, you are killing it. Well done. Like your kids are still. Because we are a dual parent house, and that's always true. So good for you.
I mean, they're always a weird.
That's a good point.
Okay.
It doesn't always. That's hard. Idea that somebody's always got something more, somebody's got better, but you have. So do something with what you've got. Put it to work. Put it to use and create one of those incredible stories. Your mom is a great one of those stories. Because she was a single mom for most of your life, and still is a single mom. But she raised 2 incredible, beautiful women who are doing amazing in life and doing incredible things, and it's just awesome to watch those stories. Well done. Well, not to you, to her. Happy Mother's Day, mother-in-law. Now, we talked about this last week. There's this idea that's going to ring through this whole series. There is no win in comparison. There's no win in comparison, and we get stuck there in that trap sometimes. So if there's no win in that, what is the win? How do we find our way out of it? And this is what we want to illustrate from this text and put it into real practical application. The way out of comparison is twofold. For your 2 bags, okay? Here's 2 things for you. Number 1, celebrate what God has given others. And number 2, leverage what God has given you. If you can do those 2 things, if you can celebrate what God has given others and you can leverage what he has given you, you're going to find yourself no longer stuck in that trap, no longer just stuck inside of that one perspective of what I don't have, but instead you can do something in life and you can encourage other people who are doing things in life. So celebrate what God has given others. And when I say celebrate what God has given others, I mean like out loud and on purpose. Celebrate those people all around you.
And we're not crazy. We know that this can be hard sometimes, right? Because when Karen loses the last 5 pounds that you've been trying to lose, and she does it somewhat effortlessly, your first response is going to want to be like, Karen? Right? But what you should be doing is celebrating. Hey, great job. You look great. You look awesome. Somebody gets the promotion that you also vied for. Do you wish it was you? Absolutely. But celebrate those wins and take that comparison of you and them out of it. The one thing that I think has been the most helpful as I have gotten older, as my kids have gotten older, when we talk about celebrating others. For me, my mom friends are mostly my small group ladies, which is super fun. And I love having people in my corner that can celebrate with me and can also remind me, like, I know that you feel like a 1-bagger today, but you're not, right? Like, clean it up, you know? It's nice to have people in your corner who are telling you, we are here to celebrate with you. We are going to point you in the right direction. And so if you don't have those people yet, I encourage you to find a small group, find people that share the same interests as you, find people who love Jesus as much as you do, and get those people around you so that when you do start falling into that trap of comparison, they're there to help kind of pull you out and point you in the right direction.
And just imagine for a second what it could be like to not compare everything all around you. It's hard to imagine because that's how we live our lives often. But imagine how much freedom that would give you to be able to celebrate what God has given others, to leverage what he has given you. When you celebrate and leverage and celebrate and leverage and celebrate and leverage, you can't say that 3 times fast, it turns out. I just learned. you find yourself in such a different spirit because you're constantly now walking around with a freedom and a peace, and you're walking around with a celebration attitude, and you're seeing new opportunities show up in front of you all the time as you start looking for ways to do something with what you've got. And it frees you to live the life that God has called you to. It frees you to live a life of joy, and it frees you from the trap of comparison, because you're no longer stuck in that same cycle. You're now focused on a different cycle, which is to celebrate and to leverage. To celebrate and to leverage. I'm going to get it this time. Celebrate and leverage. 3 times. Nailed it.
Nailed it.
Those are the things that can truly set you free from this. And I'm telling you, it is hard. It is really hard when you feel like you are the one bagger. It's really hard when you feel like the world is stacked against you, like your story is just not a redeemable story. Your story is one that's too far gone. I'm telling you, there is no story that is too far gone. There is no life that is wasted unless you choose to waste that. It is a story that God can use. It's a story God can meet you right where you're at. In fact, Jesus came to meet people exactly in that moment and to change people's stories and to set them free from the traps that they found themselves in. And so if that's you, whether you're a mom or not, I don't care. Like if you're in that place where you just feel like I need to be set free from this story to do something else with the life that I've been given, I'm telling you, Jesus came to meet you right there and to set you free from those things. And I don't want you to miss an opportunity to connect with that. I don't want you to miss an opportunity to let go of those things and to let Jesus rewrite that story. Maybe you're a mom in this room and you've been caught in the comparison trap for too long and build you up as a mom, whatever that may be. Maybe there's just an area of your life where you need prayer for some code up, and I don't want you to miss it. People do life with you because life is too hard to do alone. And especially when we're talking about comparison, you need somebody who can see into your life, who can speak into your life, who can build you up and to celebrate you. So if that's you, let us know on that QR code. But every one of us, this is an opportunity we have to walk out of here and to do something different. To celebrate and to leverage what God has given you. So, okay, go for it.
All right, God, thank you so much. The opportunity to just celebrate all the moms in this room and those that are watching online. God, we thank you for this beautiful day. We thank you for this church and the ability to worship here. God, we pray as we head out into this new week, pray that we just celebrate those around us. We leverage all of the amazing blessings you've given us.